the scarcity mentality versus the abundance mentality from an early age. We are conditioned to believe that money is limited, that getting rich is a privilege for the few, and that wanting more is a sign of greed. This is the root of the scarcity mentality, a thought pattern that makes us see the world as a competition, where one person's success means another's loss. People trapped in this mindset live in fear of spending, fear of investing, fear of losing, and this fear paralyzes. On the other hand, the abundance mentality is based on the principle that there are opportunities for everyone. People who think this way don't see other people's success as a threat, but as inspiration. They understand that money is a tool, not an end in itself. They seek to learn, grow, and contribute because they believe that the more value they generate, the more prosperity they attract. The difference between these two mindsets isn't your bank balance, it's how you see the world. While scarcity limits, abundance liberates. And this change begins with small actions. Stop complaining, start being grateful. Stop impulsive consumption. Start investing purposefully. This mental transformation is the first step toward financial freedom. And it doesn't depend on how much you earn, but on how you think. Because before accumulating wealth, you need to cultivate a rich mind. Now that we understand how mindset shapes our results, let's explore the second pillar of wealth: daily habits. The power of daily habits. If mindset is the starting point, habits are the engine that keeps the journey moving. It's not big events that shape a person's financial life, but rather the small choices repeated every day. What you do when you wake up, how you manage your time, how you spend your money, all of this builds, brick by brick, your financial future. Wealthy people don't have extraordinary habits, they have the discipline to consistently maintain simple habits. Reading about finances for 15 minutes a day, reviewing your expenses weekly, investing a fixed percentage of your income every month. These are small actions, but they accumulate enormous results over the years. On the other hand, those who live on autopilot tend to repeat patterns that sabotage growth: impulsive spending, procrastination, lack of planning. These habits don't seem dangerous in the short term, but they're like invisible leaks that drain financial energy over time. The key is to make good habits automatic. Create routines, use reminders, surround yourself with positive stimuli, because when the habit is strong, willpower is no longer necessary. And so, day after day, you build a solid foundation for prosperity. It's not about doing a lot at once, it's about doing a little, always. Now that we understand the impact of habits, let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed, but is crucial: your social circle. The social circle and silent influence. Have you ever heard the phrase, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with"? It carries a powerful truth. Our social circles shape our beliefs, our behaviors, and, inevitably, our financial results. If you're surrounded by people who complain about money, who live in debt, and who don't believe in the possibility of getting rich, you're very likely absorbing these ideas without realizing it. On the other hand, when you connect with people who talk about investments, share books, celebrate achievements, and think big, your mind begins to expand. You begin to see possibilities where before you only saw obstacles. And this doesn't require you to abandon friendships, it requires you to more consciously choose who influences your journey. Today, with the internet, it's possible to connect with mentors you've never met in person. Podcasts, videos, books, and online communities can be rich sources of inspiration and learning. The important thing is to surround yourself with voices that lift you up, not keep you stuck. The influence of your environment is silent but powerful. And when you change what you consume, who you talk to, and what ideas you nurture, your reality begins to transform. Now that we understand the impact of social circles, let's move on to one of the most neglected and, at the same time, most decisive pillars in building wealth: financial education. Financial education, the game changer. Most people spend their entire lives working for money, but never learn how money really works. This is the great paradox of modern society. Without financial education, even those who earn well can end up in debt, while those who earn little can build wealth intelligently. Financial education isn't about memorizing technical terms, it's about understanding the principles that govern money. Knowing how compound interest works, how to set up a budget, how to invest safely. These are skills that should be taught in school, but they end up being an individual responsibility. Wealthy people prioritize financial education. They study, take courses, read books, and monitor the market, not because they're obsessed with money, but because they understand that knowledge is freedom. The more you understand, the less dependent you become. And the most interesting thing is that this knowledge is accessible. Learning about finances has never been easier. There are free videos, podcasts, blogs, and communities. What's missing isn't resources, it's decision. Deciding that you're going to take control of your financial life and stop outsourcing that power. Financial education is the watershed between those who live to pay the bills and those who build freedom. And it starts with a simple question: what don't I know about money that's holding me back from growth? Now that we understand the power of knowledge, let's explore one of the most practical applications of financial education, the difference between active and passive income. Active versus passive income. Most people rely exclusively on active income, the kind that requires time and consistent effort. You work, you get paid. If you stop working, the money stops coming in. This is the traditional model, and while necessary, it has a limit: time. Passive income, on the other hand, is what differentiates those who work for money from those who make money work for them. It's the type of income that continues to come in even when you're sleeping, traveling, or pursuing other projects. It can come from rent, dividends, royalties, automated businesses, or well-structured investments. Millionaires understand that financial freedom doesn't come from working more, but from building income streams that operate without their constant presence. They use active income to fuel passive income. They invest part of their earnings in assets that generate continuous returns. And over time, this passive income surpasses active income bets, where freedom begins. Building passive income requires vision, patience, and strategy. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with simple decisions: investing in real estate funds, buying dividend-paying stocks, creating digital products, and automating processes. The key is to understand that time is the most valuable asset, and the more you transform effort into structure, the closer you get to independence. Now that we understand how the wealthy build freedom through passive income, let's explore what underpins this vision. The long-term mindset. The long-term mindset. We live in an age of instant gratification. We want quick results, immediate responses, and accelerated gains. But when it comes to building wealth, this rush is the enemy of progress. Millionaires think in decades, not days. They understand that true growth happens over time, and that patience is a competitive advantage. A long-term mindset enables smarter decisions. Instead of chasing the latest investment fad, the focus is on solid assets with a track record of appreciation. Instead of impulse spending, there's planning. Instead of giving up at the first hurdle, there's resilience. This vision also protects against emotional traps. The market rises and falls, opportunities change, but those with clarity of purpose don't let themselves be shaken, because they know they're building something bigger, something that doesn't depend on now, but on always. Rich people don't think about how to get rich quick. They think about how to never have to worry about money again, and that requires strategic vision, patience, and consistency. Cultivating this mindset is like planting a tree. You water it, care for it, protect it, and only after years do you reap the fruits. But when they do arrive, they are abundant and sustainable. Now that we understand the power of long-term thinking, let's talk about the ingredient that makes it all possible: discipline and consistency. The role of discipline and consistency of mindset is the map, and habits are the path. Discipline is the engine that keeps everything moving. Without it, even the best-laid plans fail. And we're not talking about explosive willpower, but the ability to do what needs to be done, even when motivation is lacking. Discipline is what turns intention into action. It's what makes someone invest even when the market is unstable, study even when they're tired, save even when everyone else is spending. And this discipline, when repeated, becomes consistency, the true secret of millionaires. Consistency is doing the right thing, always. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Sunday, whether you're excited or discouraged. It's staying focused, even when the results haven't yet appeared. Because the fruits of discipline aren't immediate, they're inevitable. Rich people aren't perfect. They make mistakes, have bad days, face challenges, but they keep going. And it's this consistency that builds extraordinary results. It's not about intensity, it's about permanence. Discipline isn't born of talent, but of decision. And consistency doesn't depend on luck, but on commitment. Those who understand this build wealth with solidity. Now that we've explored the pillars of the millionaire mindset, from vision to action, it's time to tie it all together and understand how financial freedom begins.